everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are really excited today. We are here to talk about Merry Madness brackets and whittle down our supposed favorite Hallmark Christmas movie. But we'll have some comments along the way. This is the tournament that they do every year. And I obviously couldn't do this by myself. So I'm film critic Rachel Wagner. And we have Alonso Duralde is here.
Hey, hello.
Yes. And then we have Dory from All the Feels podcast is here.
Hi, everybody.
Yes. So thank you so much, you guys, for joining me. Are you guys surviving quarantine?
I already worked at home, so it wasn't like a big abrupt shift, but you know, the cabin fever is real.
Yeah, same with me. I already worked from home, but I have missed my friends.
Yeah,
I miss human contact. But what about you, Dory? You surviving the quarantine?
I was okay the first 2 weeks, but I definitely hit a wall in week 3. But I'm coming back strong, so
That's good.
I think I'm gonna make it.
You've got a dog. At least you've got an excuse to leave the house every day.
I know. I'm really thankful I have this little crazy dog with a lot of energy, so I have to walk him at least twice a day, so at least I can get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, we're going to dive into this tournament, and it starts out with the Hallmark Channel bracket. And the very first one is Christmas Town versus Mistletoe Secret. So, Alonso, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, golly, these are probably among my 2 least favorite of this past season. So, look, I'm gonna throw this out there up front, but like, I am not a CCB fan. I generally find her one of my less favorite of the Hallmark leading ladies. I don't think she's particularly genuine or convincing in these movies, but she is Meryl Streep next to Kelly Pickler. So if I had to go with one on these, I'd probably wind up going with Mistletoe Secret, just because I think everything besides Pickler in this movie works, and I like the first 2 Mistletoe movies, which are missing from the bracket. So yeah, that would have to be my choice, but I'm not crazy about either one.
All right, Dory, what about you?
I am Christmas Town all the way. I think I can see your point about CCB's acting, but I actually liked her performance in this. I thought she did a really great job, better than a lot of the movies we've seen, especially in the past couple years. So the past 2 or 3 years. So I really liked this one. I can't really handle Pickler. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Can't do it. I apologize.
So I actually enjoyed both of these movies. I admit readily that Kelly Pickler's not the best actress, but I at least thought in this role, she's supposed to play this sort of simple waitress, that it kind of made a little more sense. It was a little more forgivable than some of the others. But I just like Tyler Hynes so much. I think he just elevates everybody who he's with. And so...
Are you saying you didn't find Pickler convincing as a bank employee?
Yeah, right, exactly. But I love Christmas Town.
Clearly.
Financial wizard Kelly Pickler?
Oh my gosh.
But I think that Christmas Town has almost everything you'd want in a Hallmark Christmas movie. It's got such a feeling of community. It had such a nice heart to it. I loved the adoption message in it. I thought it was just really sweet. And so I really enjoyed it. So that's definitely my pick for this one. So moving forward on Christmas Town. All right, next we have Christmas Love Story and then Christmas Under the Stars. What do you think, Dory?
I am going to go with Christmas Under the Stars. I really liked this one. I feel like we talked about this one on a podcast before. I was a fan. I really, really like Jesse Metcalfe. I know that you don't really care for him in any way.
Just Trace. I don't like Trace.
Just Trace. We're not going to get into Chesapeake Shores.
Trace.
I loved this one. And I loved Clem, the tree lot owner. He kind of sold this movie for me. I really liked that storyline with him and Jesse Metcalfe almost more than the love story. So that is my
It's a good pick. What do you think, Lonzo?
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. As much as I am a fan of Chenoweth, I didn't know that. I don't think the script was really there for her, but I think I kind of I see where both of you are coming from on Jesse Metcalfe. I didn't care for him that much in Christmas Next Door, but I thought he was better in this one, and I thought he and Autumn Reeser had some real chemistry. Like there were moments where she is falling in love with him, where she just it reads so much on her face in a way of just like you can just sense how much she is like into him. But yeah, Clark Peters totally as the tree lot owner. That's one of those like, you know, it's like when Gene Smart pops up in Shoe Addicts Christmas. It's like, oh, we have some real actors here. Like they're gonna really make something of this material, and they do. So yeah, I like the leads chemistry, like Clark Peters a lot. Yeah, I'd go Christmas Under the Stars too.
Yeah, I mean, I like both of these about the same, to be honest. But I do think there was something kind of privileged about Christmas Love Story, like the problems of the Manhattan elites. I don't know, but it was cute enough. They managed to find somebody who's as small as Kristen Chenoweth, which I think was very well done, because she's tiny. And
ladies need love too,
yeah,
Rachel.
right.
They can't all be in picturesque small towns and wearing flannel all the time.
True. And I liked obviously the music, and I did think, because at first I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be this the adopted out son, and that's gonna be super cringeworthy. But I thought they handled it actually like pretty well. It wasn't as cringeworthy as I was expecting. So I liked it, and I liked Christmas Under the Stars also. There were a couple of things that irritated me about it, but I think that Autumn and Jesse have really good chemistry, and they were in Country Wedding, which is one of my all-time favorite Hallmark movies. I love that one. Anyway, so all right, next we have Christmas at Dollywood and Christmas in Evergreen. I'm assuming this is the third one.
Yes.
Yes.
Colon, I forget what one with the advent calendar, you know.
So I know people were really irritated that we got so little Dolly in Christmas at Dollywood, and I get that. And it was fine. I liked the chemistry between Danica and Niall Mater. I thought they did a good job, and it was just fun to see a new setting and to see the parade of lights and all of that. Christmas in Evergreen 3, I liked everything except for the main couple. I just didn't think they had chemistry at all. I like Maggie Lawson so much, but I think she just has not been the fit that you think she'd be for Hallmark. I don't know, but I did like Zach's script, pretty good for Christmas in Evergreen, and I loved the Raquel Bernard and Antonio Cayoni, their romance. I thought was so cute. So I'm gonna go with Dollywood just because it was something different, and I don't know, I had fun with it. What about you, Dory?
I'm going with Dollywood also. This was a really tough matchup for me on this bracket. I didn't like either of these movies. I could do without Christmas in Evergreen. Like,
you don't like any of them, the whole series.
I know. I'm so sorry, you guys. I know so much is beloved about this town and these residents, but I can't do it. And I just can't. And then Dollywood, that felt like 3 movies in one.
Yeah.
You can tell that a bunch of different writers worked on the script. You can tell that it changed a lot. You could feel it. It didn't flow. But I love Dolly. And as a Dolly stan, I have to put that movie through. And it was worth it for the last, 5 minutes that she was in it. I'll take it. And I just can't with Evergreen. Like, a lot of times with these movies, the magical ones just lose me. And the whole Evergreen universe with hunting for the lock that fits the perfect door and broken snow globes, and I don't know. can't do it. So it's Dollywood for me.
Okay. What would you pick, Alonso? What have you picked?
I'm kind of a sucker for the evergreen movies in general. I mean, this is the least of the three, no question. And you're right, the central couple, not interesting. The Rukai Bernard subplot, way more into that. The advent calendar thing makes zero sense as far as like, oh, we've kept it hidden for 50 years, but like everything that we pull out of the drawer is like completely sort of fresh and it just got put there yesterday by a PA. But Christmas at Dollywood was terrible, and I love Dolly Parton. Like, I mean, I'm an American and I'm not made of stone. I love Dolly Parton, but like you're right, the script was such a mishmash of things, and it didn't flow very well at all. And to have so little Dolly Parton in it at all and not singing seemed like, what are we even doing here exactly? And you could totally tell like the 4 days they shot in Pigeon Forge as opposed to the 2 weeks that they shot in Vancouver or whatever. Like there's so many like really generic office spaces in that movie and crazily over decorated suburban homes, and then every so often, oh no, it's actual Dollywood, we're here now. So yeah, that one I was really let down by. There's enough in the evergreen franchise to sort of buoy me through this, like I said, least interesting of the three so far. So yeah, I gotta go with Tidings of Joy was the subtitle.
Yeah. All right, so then we have Christmas at the Plaza versus A Christmas Duet. And Dory, what do you think about these?
Okay, this is tough. I feel like I kind of liked both of these the same. Which is, I thought they were both fine. I wasn't really in love with either. I think I'm gonna go with Christmas at the Plaza. I liked this movie fine. I kind of liked the story of it. I was a little bit underwhelmed and maybe a little bit bored at times. But I really liked what they were attempting to do, and I liked a lot of the side characters. Christmas Duet just wasn't my favorite. I did like the main couple. I thought that they were cute, but I'd have to give it to Christmas at the Plaza.
So I will go with Christmas Duet. I think it's perfectly average, but I thought that the lead in Christmas at the Plaza was so miscast. I thought she was so flat and awkward, and I guess she has a British accent normally, and I don't know if that's the reason why. I go with Christmas Duet, just on chemistry alone. What about you, Alonso?
It's kind of a toss-up. I'm with Dory on this one. They're both like fine. I think that, I mean, you're right. The central couple in Christmas at the Plaza isn't that interesting. I like a lot of the filigree. I think there's a lot more Plaza in Christmas at the Plaza than there is Dollywood at Christmas at Dollywood. Like, I think,
no question.
You feel like there's more location shooting and more ambience, and you've got Bruce Davison again, like another heavy-hitting character actor coming in. But I think ultimately I'm probably going to go with Christmas Duet because I do like the main couple more. I think Shelley Rose is really charming, and Rome Flynn is fine, and the two of them together are pretty good. And I'm a sucker for Terrell Rothery, and so her whole thing is the like persnickety, travel writer or whatever. Every time she would pop up, it'd be like, oh, okay, what mayhem is she going to create now? So I would go with Christmas Duet, I guess.
Yeah. All right. I didn't think I'd win that one. Okay. So next we'll have a discussion because they have When Calls the Heart, the movie, the Christmas movie, versus Merry Bright, the magical candy cane movie. And I'm very irritated because When Calls the Heart it's just an episode of a television show. Like I think that the Christmas movies are When Calls the Heart at its best. But nevertheless, it's just not fair. It's not the same as these other movies. They don't have an existing fandom. So to put it in the bracket is just dumb. I mean, I don't know.
They should retire them from the brackets because it automatically pretty much wins every time. And you're right, it's its own little subcategory of like, I mean, yes, it's Christmas and it airs at that time and it's 2 episodes stuck together or whatever, but it's not a movie in the sense that it is this freestanding, discrete, piece of entertainment.
I was also a little bit irritated that I felt like in this movie, this season, and some people will think this is a stretch, but they had this black salesman who was like literally coming up to these white businessmen and like practically assaulting them with his product. And I'm thinking, yes, they were more forward thinking in 1917 Canada, but you can't just pretend like racism doesn't exist. Like, you can pretend that World War I didn't exist, but racism, you can't pretend like it didn't exist. That is going too far. And so it kind of irritated me about that as well. But Mary Bright was fine. I did like Andrew Walker and Jodie Sweetin together. I thought they had pretty good chemistry, and it did have a nice mid-movie kiss, like pretty early. But the whole idea of the flavored candy canes are revolutionary is ridiculous, and that it's like some hurt to her integrity to start dabbling in chocolate. Like, how dare you ask me to start dabbling in chocolate? But I'm gonna go with Mary Bright. What about you, Dory?
Well, I don't watch When Calls the Heart, and I didn't watch this movie, so I mean, by default, I'm going with Mary and Bright. But to your point, about the racism or the erasing of racism in One Calls the Heart, I am always shocked as someone who does not watch that show when I see a commercial with like a people of color in a restaurant or something, and I'm like, that's not real. That's not happening. They're just all these extras in the background eating happily. I'm like, okay, I'm glad this is happy for this makeup imaginary world, but this isn't real life.
I mean, Dory, I defer to you on this, and again, I don't want to put you in the position of like, please tell us what all Black people think of Hallmark movies. But my feeling watching a lot of these movies is that they just feel like they took the same script and gave it to a Black cast, as though Black families, when they gather together, don't express themselves in a different way or don't have different traditions or like something. I mean, like there was that one a couple of years ago, I think it was the Hall of Fame, where like there's literally a character who's an ice fisherman, and I'm thinking like, is that we'd have to stretch for this? Like, I don't know. It felt so like this guy was Scandinavian in the first draft, and now it's like, no, this is gonna be the Black one this year. Is that fair, or am I just making dumb assumptions?
We'll be talking about Christmas Everlasting coming up in the bracket.
Yeah. Well, we talk about this a lot in our podcast, and about how diversity is more than just putting Black faces and people of color on the screen. You need to have good writing and good stories behind it. And it is so obvious when a Black person is just slotted into a role because they need some diversity.
Yeah.
And there's no real thought or care put behind that character and their story, which isn't to say that like every Hallmark movie featuring people of color needs to be, some kind of like teachable moment, like an ethnic story about a new tradition or a new family that you might not know about. Like, it doesn't have to be revolutionary. It doesn't have to be kind of trying to like break the mold. But you do need to put some thought and care into these characters and thinking, you know what? This Black gentleman probably wouldn't be an ice fisherman. Like, that probably wouldn't happen. Let's try something different. You can put some thought behind these things. But I also think that's a bit about who's making these decisions, and that's a whole other podcast.
All right. Well, so next we have Right Before Christmas versus Christmas Wishes and Mistletoe Kisses. And Alonso, what did you think of these two?
I probably, given they both are like okay, I was all right with both of them. Probably I would give the edge to Right Before Christmas, even though it is one of the I have to say, I'm shocked they do this as rarely as they do. A movie that is a shameless ad for Hallmark products, because the whole plot of the film is about cards and how sending cards can just make your life so great. But no, I thought it was really charming. I liked the central couple. Chad Michael Murray weirdly fits into these movies better than I thought he was going to. I think he's actually, he makes a pretty decent lead. And even the whole sort of random subplot about the boy band seemed like it worked, And then, Mistletoe Kisses. Yeah, I mean, I like Joe Wagner a lot, but there was, first of all, they don't have the budget to convince me that we're looking at a billionaire's house, so that's a big flaw for me. But it just, so many of these movies lately seem to be boiled down to either home decor or throwing a party or putting on a pageant. And it just, you've got to give me some interesting variety within that if that's the way you're going to go. And this just felt like I'd seen it all before.
Yeah, I mean, so both of these I liked well enough. The thing with both this Christmas Wishes, Mistletoe Kisses, and her winter movie, Hearts of Winter, I think it was called, they both have she plays a designer in both. And in both, she has these extended shopping sequences where she insists that the client come along and go shopping with her. And
right,
maybe
true.
I'm wrong, but if I hired a designer, I would want them to come and show me, here's my plans. Do you like it? Do you like my sketches? Whatever. You're the designer. And
Hi, I'm a billionaire. I don't have time for this
I'm
nonsense.
going to go shopping with my designer. And I'm just like, if they make another movie with Joe Wagner shopping, I can't deal with it. And I mean, right before Christmas, I liked it. I mean, it's one of those movies. It's kind of like the Gary Marshall movies. Like, would you rather just have one full story? Would you rather have lots of different stories? But I'm going to go with Right Before Christmas for me as well. What about you, Dory?
I'm going to go with Right Before Christmas as well, but with one caveat. I hated the boy band storyline.
It was my least favorite as well.
It did not fit. We didn't need it. I take it out. I don't want it.
I liked it better than the military storyline, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot going on in that movie. But I felt like Christmas Wishes and Mistletoe Kisses was utterly forgettable.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart to say that because I do love Jill Wagner, but this was like you said, this was like every other party planning, every other event planning, every other home design movie ever.
Two memorable things about Mistletoe Kisses for me is that the other guy that she almost gets involved with is actually okay.
Oh yeah, he was not very dreamy.
He's like, you could have wound up with him and be like, oh, that's fine. He's cool. He's a doctor. He's hot. Like, they didn't go out of their way to make him into like the typical Baxter of these movies where, oh, I hate Christmas and all I care about is work and I'm on my cell phone all the time, So I thought that was nice. They avoided that trap.
Yeah. The other weird thing about that movie is, why does she have to go to every single rehearsal of the play? Like, her kid, yes, you want to be there for the big show, but I don't think you're a bad mother if you miss every practice.
Helicopter moms.
She was so upset that she was going to miss the rehearsal. I'm like, what? Anyway, okay, so then we have Picture a Perfect Christmas and The Christmas Club. And Dory, which one would you pick out of these two?
I would pick Christmas Club. I enjoyed this one more than I thought I would. This was the Cameron Matheson run, right?
Yes.
Elizabeth Mitchell. I really like her. Why hasn't she been in more of these? I like that the couple was a little older. I also liked Picture of Perfect Christmas. I thought it was fine. It was early in the season, and I really like Merritt Patterson. She was a photographer.
Yeah. Favorite Hallmark profession.
Yeah, favorite Hallmark profession and favorite reason to go home. Her grandma fell off a ladder and hurt her ankle. Yeah. And so she called on her granddaughter to come help her for the holidays. All the tropes thrown in there. And there was a single dad. I think there was a dog. It was everything. But I really liked Christmas Club. I don't know, I just like the feel of that movie. I thought it was fun and cute. It went down easy. I let it wash right over me when I was watching it. I don't know. I think it just flowed a little better. I like the story more than Picture Perfect Christmas.
These are two of my favorite, written by two of my favorite Hallmark writers, Tracy Ann Deering and Julie Sherman Wolfe. So I think they elevate it. And but I would go with Christmas Club also, even though there was no club, and that was disappointing.
There was no club.
That's no club.
True. That's all
and
right.
So
titles are wonky. We all know. They're getting to the end of the road with some of these titles, so we forgive a lot.
So, Alonso, which would you pick?
Oh, for sure, Christmas Club. Yeah, I think it's a lot. It's very charming. I like movies that also kind of address what it is that we like about Christmas beyond the trappings that we always get in these movies, like beyond the cookies and the trees and the, hanging up the stockings or whatever, that it was actually about, kindness and generosity and compassion and empathy and that kind of thing. And, that just, I'm a softie. I like that kind of thing. And, it doesn't always have to be that these movies are about, the party or the pageant or whatever. There was a pageant in there, but it was sort of, relegated to the background.
Then we have Christmas in Rome versus Holiday Date. And I'm so surprised they didn't have double holiday. I think out of all of the three movies done by both networks, in my opinion, at least, that was by far the best of the Hanukkah attempts, was Double Holiday versus Holiday Date. Yeah. And so,
yep.
Yeah, Dory was on the recap for that one. I really enjoyed it. I thought Chloe was really good in there, and but Holiday Date versus Christmas in Rome. I didn't really like the baking scene at Christmas in Rome. I thought it was great. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, no.
But the whole rest of her tour, she's supposed to be this special tour guide. What, she taught him how to find coffee? What is this? And so that didn't work for me.
Into the Trevi Fountain. Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant tour guide. Take it to the Trevi Fountain in Rome. No one's ever thought of that before. Holiday Date was, I love a fake engagement story, and the family was really fun. So, and I like Brittany Bristow. So I'm going to go with that. Holiday Date. What about you, Alonso?
Yeah, I think Holiday Date, mainly because, here's the thing. I know the three most popular Hallmark leading ladies are CCB, Lacey Chabert, and Danica McKellar. Danica's okay. Neither TCB nor Lacey Chabert really ever thrill me in these. And I've liked Lacey Chabert other stuff like Party 5 and Mean Girls or whatever. So I do not necessarily jump up for the movies. Although I do like the dude in Christmas in Rome.
Sam Page.
Oh, is it Sam Page? I was thinking.
Yeah, Christmas in Rome.
Oh, I'm thinking about the dude from Pride, Ribs, and Mistletoe. Sam Page is fine. I have a hard time forgetting his Mad Men character when I watch him.
Me too.
That's a whole other story.
Every time I Jones' husband.
Holiday, exactly. Ugh, bad news. Holiday Date. Yeah, I do like a fake fiance. I like how deep they kept digging the hole because the fake fiance was supposed to be like an architect or whatever, and this guy had clearly no idea. And they keep asking him to look at kitchens and stuff. So I thought that was funny. And again, my secret weapon, Terrell Rothery, when she whips out her Oy vey apron or whatever, I'm like, okay, I'm in. And I'm glad that Brittany Bristow is finally getting kicked up to the A role. She's been paying her dues as the supportive best pal for a while.
Date. Okay. So the next is the very dubious Hallmark Classics bracket. And
says who?
Yeah, most of these aren't even old at all, and so it's very confusing. But so the first one in the Hallmark Classics bracket is Christmas Under Wraps and Christmas Everlasting. There's Christmas Everlasting, which I already talked a little bit about.
The ice fishing movie.
The Christmas Everlasting, the one where Patti LaBelle literally opens a door. She's on the poster, and that's her whole role. Is welcome to my home, open door.
She's hosting the cookie.
Yeah.
I think she hands Dennis Haysbert a cookie, perhaps.
The movie did have a really good cast and a lot of potential.
Yeah. I liked it fine. I thought it was good. I mean, and I thought that Teddy and Ali sold the emotion in the scenes.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole, I hated the whole, what they call it? We called it the gaggle of witches on her podcast. Those supposed friends of Alice, they were the worst.
The quilters.
The
quilting club.
Yeah, they were awful. I hated them. Christmas Under Wraps is classic, and it's been so long since they did one with a Santa type character that I think I have a fondness for it, for that reason. And I don't know, I think it's a cute enough story. She goes to the Alaskan town, and so I'm gonna go with Christmas Under Wraps. What about you, Alonso?
I'm kind of with you. Where like I think there's a lot that Christmas Everlasting has going for it, but it doesn't quite gel as much as you want. And yeah, I mean, Christmas Under Wraps is basically like, what if Northern Exposure but Christmas? But I do like a Santa, which we don't get anymore. And it's probably my favorite of the CCB movies, mainly because we don't have to like her until about at least halfway through. So, you know, the fact that I find her a little grating. It's like, no, the character is also, you know, she has to sort of learn not to be such an uptight, you know, city gal. So yeah, I'll go with that. And Brian Doyle Murray is a very good Santa.
Yeah, he was fun. And was that what you would pick, Dory?
Yes, I love Christmas Under Wraps. I mean, this is one of my favorites. I watch this every year. I love that it's in Alaska. I love that she has to go to the general store to buy clothes because her cute boots aren't gonna work in the snow and ice of Alaska. I think CCB is really, you're right. You really get to dislike her for a lot of the movie. She plays the kind of city slicker very well. But I love this one. I think it's so fun. It's one I watch over and over again. And I typically do not care for the Santa movies, and I still like this one. So that is saying a lot. And Christmas Everlasting, I liked this movie, but I felt like it had potential, and it just never reached it. Like I kept waiting to feel more and to I kept waiting to be drawn into this one, and I was waiting for a lot of the movie. So, and I'm surprised it's in this bracket. Like, are we calling this a classic?
I don't think so. I
don't think so either.
But the next one is even worse.
Yeah.
So
buckle up.
So we have Once Upon a Christmas Miracle versus Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. And Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe is not a classic in any way, shape, or form. I mean, if you want to watch people plan a party for an entire movie and have one kind of cute baking scene, then I guess it's a classic. But it's not a classic. That doesn't do it for me. I thought this movie was really boring. I didn't think they had any chemistry. I really disliked the book. I mean, I love Pride and Prejudice, but not Pride and Prejudice and Mistletoe. Didn't like that book, and I just like, what are you thinking? Of all the people to cast as a Darcy type character, Lazy Chabert? Like, if anything, if you're gonna have a Darcy character, you need to have Jessica Lowndes or someone like that has a little bit of edge to her. And so they couldn't even pretend that she had any kind of antagonism at all, because that's just not who she is as a person. And so it was just literally them watching them plan a party for an hour and 40 minutes or whatever. And
isn't this movie just like a year old?
Yeah, it's not even that old. Once Upon a Christmas,
and so's the other one too.
Yeah. Once Upon a Christmas Miracle is a really sweet true story. I didn't think they had the greatest chemistry, but I still think it's far better than Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. He's kind of a manic pixie dream guy. Like he's perfect. But
Whitney Seibold over at the critically acclaimed podcast refers to those as flawless rescue studs.
oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he even gets her an organ. I mean, he's just perfect. It would have been much better if he'd had like a moment of doubt about whether he should do what he does, or I don't know, just he was just so perfect that made him a little boring of a character, but it's far better than Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe, in my opinion. But Alonso, what do you think?
I don't love either of these. Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe, it's like, why are we even pretending that this is remotely Jane Austen-ish? Like, it just seems like we're going to name some things. Like Christmas at Pemberley Manor felt more Austen-y than this did, you know? And Brendan Penny, that was the guy whose name I couldn't remember before. I like him in the Vineyard movies. Like, I think he and Rachel Lee Cook bounce off each other well, but he and Chabert don't have that here. And but then Once Upon a Christmas Miracle, like the story itself is really interesting, and you know, you find out that it is a true story, and you see the people that were involved. Like, oh wow, that's amazing that happened. But it's not told in a particularly compelling way, and it's the kind of thing where even the truth can feel contrived if you don't write it the right way, you know. Mm-hmm. So I didn't buy much of it, but oh god, given the choice between the two, if I had to sit through one again, I would probably pick Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. But that is not an endorsement.
All right, Dory, you're gonna break a tie.
I am actually with Alonso on this. No! If I had to watch one of these, if I was tied down and forced to watch, I would do Pride and Prejudice. And
you want to? All right. Well, next we have Crown for Christmas versus The Christmas Train, and so the Christmas Train, it had a great cast, of course. It's the Hall of Fame for that year, but I hated the twist. I was so stupid that they had orchestrated all of this to get them together. That was so dumb. I don't need Shyamalan in my Hallmark movies. I don't. And I actually love Crown for Christmas. I think it is the best princess movie they've ever made. I really like Rupert Penry Jones as the king, and Danica's really cute in it, and her relationship with the little girl is cute, and so I definitely go with Crown for Christmas on this one because I hate that ending so much. But Dory, what do you think?
I mean, for me, it's a Crown for Christmas, and there's like no contest. Yeah. I love this movie. It has maybe one of my favorite Christmas movie endings. When he goes to get her at the train station on the horse. Come on.
Yeah.
It's so good. The entire ball scene is really great. I really like this movie. I think this is my favorite Danica movie ever. And I like The Christmas Train fine. I know that lots of people really like this movie, and I'm fine with it. I do like Kimberly Williams Paisley a lot, or is she's in this, right? Mm-hmm. And but I'm sorry, there's no contest for me. This is a classic and should be in the classics bracket. So good job on this.
I agree with that. Alonso, which would you have picked?
I'm kind of torn here because, like, you know, you're right. Christmas Train starts strong and then, you know, goes off a literal cliff, basically. But I think Crown for Christmas begins so terribly. Like, all of the stuff, the early scenes of Danica McKellar and her sort of, like, you know, scraping by lifestyle and her, like, wisecracking roommates or siblings or whatever they are, I forget, and how she gets the gig as the nanny. Like, I didn't buy any of that. Even by these standards, it was like, what are we doing here? And then once she gets to Vulcanvania or whatever the country's called, you know, it picks up and there's some fun stuff, and yes, it's a pretty sweepy ending. So I guess I'd go with Crown for Christmas just because, like, it doesn't have you walk into a movie like, oh, they got, you know, Danny Glover and Kimberly Williams and Joan Cusack and you know, Dermot Mulroney and all these people, like, oh well, this is going to be a thing, you know. yeah, I'd say Crown is not my favorite of the royal Christmas movies, but it's up there, sure. And so, yeah, I'll go Crown for Christmas.
All right, very good. Okay, so then we have Small Town Christmas versus Switch for Christmas. Alonso, which would you pick?
Probably, well, no, actually, definitely Small Town Christmas. It has some bizarre contrivances and like one of the weirdest Baxters ever, who was just like, just a strange performance, and like the character is called upon to do some really like potentially nefarious stuff. It's just like, what are we even doing here? But there's a folksy charm to it, and it is your classic like Hallmark small town save the bookstore movie, and Palaha's really charming. And Switch for Christmas, Rachel and I talked about this before. It's like, oh, it's a party planning movie with two parties. Ooh,
Yeah.
And I don't think that she makes the twins different enough from each other. It's like, okay, one makes waffles and bacon, and the other one likes smoothies. But like for the most part, they don't. She's not doing a lot of heavy lifting as far as like being one and then the other. So. I would say for sure Small Town.
Because the problem is that everybody knew. Everyone knew they had switched. So any chance for any kind of humor involving the switch was ruined because everybody knew. And so it's just them planning each other's parties. And so, yeah, I'm definitely Small Town Christmas for me. What about you, Dory?
Okay, I take all of your criticisms. I hear you. I still like Switch for Christmas better.
All right.
It was entertaining. I liked the guys in it. I know Rachel hates this movie. It won our bracket the year. And Rachel was like, I cannot believe you guys liked this movie. I can't believe you picked it to win your bracket. I don't understand. And Rachel, I don't even have a good reason for you. I was just entertained while watching it.
No, it's okay. We all have those Hallmark movies.
I know. When I saw it on here, I was like, Rachel's gonna hate this.
All right. Okay, next we have a veteran's Christmas versus a royal Christmas. And so, Dory, what do you think about these two?
I like a veteran's Christmas. I am just so baffled, though, because so many of these movies are recent.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Last year.
Like, no Trading Christmas, no Season of Miracles, no November Christmas. I don't know, just like the true classics.
Even Mistletoe Promise.
Right.
Like, 4 years old or something.
Like
9 Lives of Christmas.
We're calling this Christmas? Like classic Christmas? But I loved this movie. And I tend to really like all the veteran ones. And I thought this one worked really well. There was a dog in it, so I was into that.
Two dogs.
Two dogs, that's right. I like Eloise Mumford a lot, and I love Sean Ferris. Like, I think he's great. He's not in enough of these as far as I'm concerned. I thought they were a good couple. I think this would be my choice. Yeah, I'm going veterans.
What do you think, Alonso?
Oh, okay, now I'm going to sound like a jerk. I hate a veteran's Christmas. I think.
Oh my God!
Okay, it is. There was that article in Salon a couple years ago about how like you can rewrite almost any Hallmark movie into being a horror movie. Like the whole movie is about this entire town gaslighting this woman and telling her that her car has not been fixed yet, and like contriving all these reasons to keep her there. And it's like, they would never in a million years do that to a dude veteran on Hallmark. They would never like take one of our brave men troops back home and like put him through all of this nonsense. But they do it to a woman, and they do it to her for the entire film. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me with this. And then the dogs, like the one when she's okay, the ending, great. She's reunited with the combat dog. It's beautiful. It's a lovely moment, and totally who isn't gonna love that. But the other dog that she's supposedly bonding with the movie, the one that belongs to the Sean Ferris character, has that Happy the Dog thing where like he's always looking at the trainer, always looking at the trainer off camera, and is not interacting with the person who's next to him on camera ever. Just like, what do I get a yummy? What, so yeah, that made me crazy. But no, just, I couldn't believe that this entire movie about a woman who was a veteran was also a movie where like, it's one thing when you do that kind of, those shenanigans and like, welcome to Christmas. Oh, we want to get the realtor to stay so she'll turn the town into a ski resort. That's one thing. But to do it to somebody who literally just got off the plane from Afghanistan, where it was like, really? This is what we're doing?
Fair.
Didn't work for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm Royal Christmas. Come on, you got hoagies, you got the sword and the painting, and you've got Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Like, that movie has it all.
So yeah, this one's a little bit tough. I do agree that you changed out the score in A Veteran's Christmas, it would be a horror movie. But I did really like the dogs, and I thought they were really cute together. I love Christmas for Holly, which they're in. So it's always nice when you get people that have done a previous movie together. They already have that chemistry. So I liked it well enough. And then A Royal Christmas, I think it's pretty forgettable for these royal movies, but I'm a sucker for royal movies. So I'm going to go with Royal Christmas. We have Christmas Card versus Christmas Cottage. And Christmas Card is, I would say, a classic. It's definitely one that kind of got things going in the whole Hallmark. I think in Ed Asner is in it. It has a lot of classic kind of tropes of her, with this evil kind of nasty boyfriend who's in love with business, and I like it. I know it's flaws, but I like it. And then the Christmas Cottage, I actually think is really underrated. I'm surprised it's on this list because I feel like no one talks about it, but I really enjoyed it. And I love Steve Lund. I think he's so dreamy, and Merritt Patterson. And I just like them being all cozy in their jams and talking in the cottage. And I could have had that more time. But I like the fact that she actually doesn't, at the very end, she goes ahead with the kiss and doesn't take her, like, it's a cell phone rings. I'm like, yes. So there's not an almost kiss. She actually kisses him, which I liked. I know it's a nitpick, but I thought that the bride character was kind of a diva. Like, why do you ask your friend to design the Christmas tree and take care of it? She's a designer, and then you don't want her to do anything. You just want her to decorate it with, the old stuff. Why did you ask her to do it in the first place? That seems weird to me. So that was annoying, but I'm going to go with Christmas Cottage, but it's hard because they're so different. These two are, I don't know, one new, one old. What about you, Dory?
I'm going with the Christmas Card.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that is like the quintessential classic Hallmark movie. When I think of Hallmark Christmas movies, I think of the Christmas Card. Like, if someone were to say to me, like, what are the 5 Hallmark Christmas movies you think that kind of encapsulate what these movies are, that would be one of them.
Yeah.
Christmas Cottage, I enjoyed. It's just too recent for me to like wrap my brain around it as a classic. I don't know. Like, I have gone back and watched it again after it premiered. So it does, and I did enjoy it the second, third time. I don't know. I just don't know. But I like it, but I don't know if I can call it a classic yet.
Yeah, Christmas Cottage is charming. I agree with you. I like Steve Lund too. And it has one of my favorite, like, here's how we're going to show you the heroine has lost her soul. That crazy minimalist design where, like, it's your house, but it's also your office. And you change the projections on the window to look like nature, but it's actually, there's nothing outside the window.
Right.
Like, it was like thing that nobody wants, but they show you in a Hallmark. It was like, oh my God, can you believe this is what people are doing in the city? So yeah, that's hilarious, and the whole notion of this cottage and think it's like, yeah, you're right, it is super cozy. But yeah, the Christmas card is kind of, I think it really, it's, iconic is not the word I want here. What is it? It's archetypal.
Yeah.
It's sort of setting in motion the beats of a Hallmark movie and the ideas and what the characters are going to be like. Yeah, that Baxter is hilarious. Ed Asner is always great. So yeah, I would go Christmas card.
Okay, great. I was right on the fence on that one, so I'm glad. Okay. All right. Next we have Mingle All the Way versus Family for Christmas. And Dory, what do you think about these two?
I can't believe I'm saying this. I really like Mingle All the Way. Like, I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel weird putting it through as a classic. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't get over this. But I do really like that movie. I like Jen Lilly a lot. I like that it was an internet dating, but not dating storyline. I like that. It felt kind of modern-ish in the Hallmark world. Yeah, I would put that over the Family for Christmas. This is not one of my favorite Lacey movies at all by any stretch. Yeah, I feel like I've only watched this one once or twice over the years. I think it came out like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe.
What do you think, Alonso?
Yeah, I agree. Family for Christmas doesn't really make a lot of impact. Mingle All the Way is okay. I like the whole the whole subplot with Lindsay Wagner and the idea that they wanted to go into the family business. She's like, no, this is a thing that really means something to me. I want to make a career out of this. You're right. As fake apps in Hallmark movies go, it seems like one that might actually exist and serve a function. The lead guy, I'm not crazy about. Like, I weirdly like him better playing the idea of a Christmas movie lead in Christmas Movie Christmas, which he did last year. And I think he like wrote it too with his wife. But in this movie, like they don't really have a lot of chemistry, and I don't know if it's the way it's written. I don't know if it's in the performance. I don't know if it's just my own personal bias, but like that character reads super gay to me, and I can't shake it. Like the whole thing about like how he's so into vintage ornaments and just like the certain responses, certain things. I'm like, is that going to be the third act twist here that I did not see coming? Because like that's how I read it. I don't know.
Yeah. So I actually really like Family for Christmas. It was on when we first started the podcast. It was the first episode we ever did. We did 12, and I've seen way more now, so it wouldn't make my top 12 now. But at the time, it actually made my top 12 because I love like body swapping alternative timeline movies. Like Your Name is my favorite movie, and I'm not saying this is like Your Name, but I'm just saying I love that trope. I love that kind of story. And so her kind of waking up with this whole family, I don't know, I really enjoyed it.
I don't know how to make cookies.
Yeah. And the kids were a lot, but they were like not real kids. They're like her fake kids. So hopefully when she has her real kids, she like helps them to not be like that. But I don't know, I enjoyed it. And Mingle All the Way, I liked it, and I like the app, and I love the side characters. Sandy Sadu and Casey Manderson having this little side romance was really fun. Ava Grace Cooper's in it, and I love her. She's so cute. I thought Lindsay Wagner's character was really odd as the mom. She was she was strange to me. But I'm going to go with Family for Christmas for me, but you guys both went with Mingle, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Put it through.
All right. Okay, last one. We have Bramble House, Christmas versus Christmas Next Door. And Alonso, this is one of your favorites, I think.
I love Bramble House. Yeah, like that was my favorite one of whatever year that was, 2017?
I think.
Yeah, I think it really holds up. Like you have the lead character who's like been through some really terrible stuff and health issues with their kid and financial stuff, and you have this guy who is coming to confront her about because he thinks like that he literally like she swindled his dying father to get his inheritance, basically. So it's like we're dealing with darker story, beats than we usually get in a Hallmark movie. But then like you get this I love a magical like hotel / B&B / guest house, movie. So like Bramble House itself is gorgeous. Again, Terrell Rothery, MVP. So like the town is really great, and it's like super bedecked and Christmassy. But these characters are eventually gonna have to like confront the stuff that they're bringing in with it. And I just watched this again actually because it was on one of the weekend marathons, and the kid is really good. Like a lot of times they can be super saccharine in these movies, but there's a moment where the guy who's sort of been trying to like wheedle information out of this kid and his mother because he wants to make this big accusation. He like kind of casually asks the kid, "Oh, did you want to be a writer when you grew up?" And the kid sort of like goes, I mean, I didn't." And then he like gives this incredible monologue about how like I was dying and they didn't think I was going to make it through, and no one's asked me for a long time, what are you going to be when you grow up, because they didn't think I was going to. And I was like, oh, that's a moment that is landing in this movie, and like, of genuine emotion, and not like the sort of the Hallmark version of that, which is like, oh, that's sweet, so yeah, I like Bramble House a lot. It is one of my all-time favorites.
I really enjoy it too. I get a little annoyed with the sort of the liar reveal kind of thing. Like, I know that part's not my favorite, but they get rid of it pretty quick. And I do like one thing about Christmas Next Door. I think it's in general enjoyable enough, but I love the whole caroling sequence that they have in that movie. They also have glass cups with hot cider, which is very impressive. You can see the steam coming off, and I just love it. I don't know why they don't have more caroling. It was so fun. I love that in that movie. But yeah, I'll go with Bramble House as well. What about you, Dory?
I would go with Bramble House as well. This is also one of those movies that is always on. I feel like during the holidays they replay this so often, so I always watch it multiple times from multiple different starting points because it's just kind of on whenever I turn on my TV to Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. But I think Bramble House was definitely a better movie, definitely more of a classic. I liked Christmas Next Door. I really like Fiona Gubelman, that's her name. I really like her as a leading lady. I would like to see more of her. And it also cracked me up because I think she was a violinist, and her fake violin playing was really making me laugh. It brought me a lot of joy. I can still see those scenes in my head.
We could create a string quartet with her and the cellist from Right Before Christmas.
Exactly. That's what we do.
Get a viola in there and we're good to go.
Exactly. But I definitely think that Bramble House is better and more of a classic.
Hey guys, it's Cammie and Ann. With Mother's Day coming very, very quickly and just fast approaching around the corner, what do you get your mother for Mother's Day? I know that it is always a struggle with me. My mom says, hey, I want this for Mother's Day. That kind of ruins the point. So, and we live with my mother currently, and so it's always really hard to try to get her just the perfect gift. What about you, Ann?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's your mom. It's a big and important day, and so it can be a struggle to kind of find the right thing for a mom. Definitely.
Right. So, are you looking for the perfect gift for your mom or even another loved one? Well, we've got what you need. Skylight. Nowadays, staying in touch with those we love is so much easier than it used to be.
Yes.
And it's also more important than ever. And the easiest way to do it is with Skylight, a photo frame you can email photos to. How easy is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Don't have to have the right software or any of that. Just email the photos anytime from anywhere. it's a great way to feel close. So, and I live with my mom, like I said, but where's your mom?
I live in Nashville, but my parents are in Atlanta, Georgia. So they're not with me. So it would be really easy for me to just email some photos, to the Skylight Frame. I sent it to my mom, and then she could see, what we have going on and be surprised when it comes on the screen there.
Yeah. And the other thing is multiple people, because it's an email address, multiple people can send to this. You don't have to invite people to a group, which is always so annoying. And it sets up effortlessly, listen to this, in under 60 seconds.
Wow.
And then sending it is effortless. Like we said, everyone in your family can just email photos to Mom's Skylight and they'll pop up in her home in seconds. You can preload it with your favorite photos too. And then you can also have the emails. So now, as a special holiday offer, so if you are looking for just that right gift for Mom, you can get $10 off your purchase of a Skylight Frame when you go to skylightframe.com/Hallmark and enter code Hallmark. That's right, $10 off your purchase of a Skylight Frame, which is not a small amount of money. Just go to skylightframe.com/Hallmark and enter code Hallmark. SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/Hallmark. So give a mom a gift she'll enjoy, and enjoy yourself.
All right, so we finished the one side of the bracket, the two brackets. Now we're going to the other side, and we have the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries bracket. And so the first one up is Christmas in Montana versus A Merry Christmas Match. And I did not like A Merry Christmas Match. I thought it was a little bit bonkers, I guess, but it was so weird. I mean, that they have that whole weird party at his parents' house, and there's like a whole pot of money, and people are in weird costumes, and then you're supposed to believe that she, like, I guess instantly kind of falls in love with him. So she's like, should I move into the city? And I don't know. I thought it was so weird. They literally have, the lead is a Broadway veteran, and they have this woman singing, and she sings 2 songs. And I'm like, why would you do that when you have a Broadway singer as your lead? Why would you have this other person who's not a Broadway veteran sing 2 songs? And I just thought it was really bad. And it was the first movie of the whole season. I'm thinking, oh no, this is going to be terrible. Christmas in Montana was good. I liked Kelly Martin and Julie Sherman-Wolf's script. And she always does a good job, I think, with her characters and trying to bring a little bit of humor. It's mostly a party planning movie and a Save the Farm movie, but I would definitely pick it over Merry Christmas Match. But I don't know. What do you think, Alonso?
Yeah, Merry Christmas Match is like one of the all-time worst. Like,
so bad.
It's like, did I dream that one? Like, it does. Yeah, it doesn't make any logical sense. They're jumping around, like they're in Colorado and then they're in LA and then they're not. And yeah, it's cuckoo bananas, that movie. Christmas in Montana, I mean, it's kind of a snooze, but it mostly does what it says on the box. Julie's great. I moderated a panel with her at Christmas Con last year. The thing that I realized in thinking about it later that I think is kind of a bold move for Hallmark, these movies love to make fun of dietary restrictions. Like if you are on keto or paleo, or even just like if you like avocados, there's going to be like, okay, weirdo, And so Martin playing a character who is a vegetarian, and she goes to Montana, and rather than like goof on her and like make her eat a steak or something,
yeah,
there's a dinner sequence where like they're all sitting around, and he's like, oh well, the vegetarian dishes are the ones in the green dishes, and then later he takes her to this fancy restaurant, and like they hand her a separate menu with this like super la-di-da quinoa whatever that in another Hallmark movie would have been the butt of the joke, and it was like, no, he's being like generous and a good host to this woman. I was like, okay, yeah, well done, Hallmark. Like, I eat meat, but I find it ridiculous that these movies always think that like, oh, avocados are so funny,
I agree. Dory, what would you pick?
I mean, I spent most of last season trying to forget Merry Christmas Past. That movie, the antique store, like none of it worked for me on any level. And that is rare. I can usually find something redeeming that I enjoy or think is cute or funny, a performance I like in these movies. Not this one.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to my co-host Mel and us being like, is this what we're in for this year? Because we need to reevaluate our choices.
Bad Omen.
Bad Omen. It was so early and I kind of couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was just too much. And I liked Christmas in Montana Fine. I freaking love Kelly Martin, The Christmas Ornament. Okay, that should have been under the classics. The Christmas Ornament is so good.
Yeah.
And I think her and Colin Ferguson are like a pretty great Hallmark movie couple. So on their strength alone, I will put Christmas in Montana through.
There's that whole thing where like he's so dense about the idea of anything that might make money. He's like, oh, we don't do that here. It's
yeah.
Like, she spends the entire movie like, look, you are about to foreclose. Why don't you like sell some Christmas trees maybe, or rent the barn out? And he's all like, and then finally does.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good recreation. Okay, so then we have Blue Ridge Mountain Christmas versus Homecoming for the Holidays. And I think this one actually did use its musically trained star in an effective way for once, which was nice. I mean, I think Laura Osnes was nice. Her singing was nice. And the way they integrated her career, I guess, into, doing the live show and everything. I also liked the whole plot with the soldier getting the dog for his PTSD. I thought that worked. And I like Stephen Huszar. I think he's very charming. And so, yeah, and then Blue Ridge Mountain Christmas, I liked the little girl. I don't know, I don't remember much else about it. I did like the little girl. So yeah, I go with Homecoming for the Holidays. What about you, Dory?
Same. Homecoming for the Holidays. I thought A Blue Ridge Mountain Christmas was fine, but I don't know. I wanted more for Rachel Lee Cook. I really liked her in a lot of her movies, and this just wasn't my favorite story for her to be featured in. I didn't even think her chemistry was that great with the main guy. So yeah.
Do you agree, Alonso?
Yeah, totally. Not a good use of Rachel Lee Cook. Not much mountain in that movie either, as I recall. That being a weird thing about it. And Homecoming for the Holidays is fine. Yeah, I like of the troop movies. I kind of like the ones that address things that are actually happening in the world. Like, Operation Homecoming talks a lot about like, oh yeah, well, we, budget cuts, we had to close the family center on the base, and so that's what the big fundraiser is for. And this one, they're talking about like, we're building houses for, the vets and stuff. And it's like, yeah, let's, if you're going to traffic in this, like, it drives me crazy when politicians sort of talk about the troops, but then turn around and like cut funding for the VA, So like if Hallmark is gonna coast on the troops as a plot device, then let's talk about what the troops are actually doing, and not in a way that's going to be super depressing or un-Christmassy, but you can weave that stuff in there, and this one does that pretty well.
Yeah. I also liked the way they handled the other guy that, the other singer. Like there was never a moment of like, what were you doing with him? And, any kind of outrage or whatever. Like I liked that whole tiny.
I love when somebody sees a thing that he wasn't supposed to see, and then they immediately have a conversation where it is explained to them.
Right.
That's they don't do that nearly enough in these movies.
That is rare. Yeah.
So next we have Angel Falls, A Novel Holiday versus Two Turtle Doves. And Dory, what did you think of these two?
Two Turtle Doves.
Yeah.
Come on. Queen Nikki DeLoach. I thought this movie gave me all the feels. I loved it. So with our all the feels bracket, we only ever do Hallmark Channel movies, and this one was on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so this didn't win our bracket, but it was our favorite movie of the year. We still talked about it on the podcast because Mel and I both thought it was so special. Like this, I thought this was a very rare Hallmark movie. I cried, I laughed, I swooned. I love Nikki DeLoach. I think she's been killing it lately in these movies. I thought the grief storyline was so important to address during the holidays because that is a huge part of the holidays for everyone. You know, it's not just the cookie baking and the tree decorating. You really miss the loved ones you've lost around the holidays more than ever. And I thought this was really a beautiful way to honor something that is so sad in all of our lives, and to do it in what ended up being a really joyful and lovely movie in the end. And so I could talk about this movie all day long. It's so good.
Yeah, I agree with you. There were so many things that it did right that most Hallmark movies don't get right. Like the near kiss was so good.
Oh,
It actually made sense, and he actually explained it, and
Right.
It wasn't just some noise that made them like there was actually motivation behind it. It was so good that when the little girl talks about she didn't know if she was allowed to be sad. Oh, it was so good. That was so well done. And I also loved the way they handled her career, in that it's not just choose the man or your career, but it was actually like there was a through line throughout the whole movie about her sort of mixed feelings about her job to begin with, and then she goes to all these interviews, and I don't know, I just thought it was way better done than most of these in that regard. And I don't know, it was so good. So yeah, I mean, I actually love the original Angel Falls. I think it's kind of a new take on the preacher's wife or the bishop's wife or whatever. It kind of has that feel to it to me. And I thought that Paul and Rachel Boston had such great chemistry in the movie. I really liked it. This second one, not so much. So I definitely go with Two Turtle Doves. And I know you agree a lot. So.
Oh God, yeah, Two Turtles is arguably my favorite Hallmark movie ever. I think you're right. Everything you guys said, the things that it gets right, the things that it talks about that other movies don't talk about. Like my husband hates these movies. Like he hates them to an extent that makes like Grumpy Dan on Deck the Hallmark seem like a cheerleader.
Yeah.
He cannot stand them. And I showed him the scene from Two Turtle Doves, the Muddy Buddies scene where the daughter talks about not knowing that she was allowed to be sad and not thinking that the adults were sad. And he was like, how did this get in there? Like, how did the network allow this on? This is a genuine moment of really good acting and really good writing. I don't ever cry at these movies. I cry at that scene every time. And I've seen that movie like 4 or 5 times now. Yeah, Two Turtle Doves, no question.
And if you are a patron of our podcast, you can listen to my interview with the director and producer of the film and get some more insight into how it did get made. And that'll air eventually on the podcast. But okay, so then we have Holiday Hearts versus A Christmas Miracle. And Alonso, do you have feelings about either of these movies?
Ooh, they're both. I've got problems with both of them. I'm inclined to go with Holiday Hearts just because I like these two so much. I think Ashley Williams is super charming. And I think they're both among my, even though they're not necessarily my favorite pairing, it's probably like one of my favorite Hallmark women and one of my favorite Hallmark men. But there's a lot of this that's really dumb, especially the like literal ad for, Balsam Hill in the middle of it where he's showing off all the different tree lighting possibilities.
Yeah.
But, oh God, Christmas Miracle is, maybe it's because I've worked in magazines. So like it gave me this sort of firsthand look of like, well, that's not true. That wouldn't happen. No, that's a lie, So like that stuff just really got on my nerves. And right? I just, the whole subplot with like Barry Bostwick and his estranged daughter, I didn't think really landed. And the central couple, I bought them when they were bickering, but I didn't buy them when they have to then turn the corner and become romantic. So I guess I would go with Holiday Hearts, but neither of these were among the better ones last year.
What about you, Dory?
I agree 100%. I'm going to say Holiday Hearts purely because I love Ashley Williams and Paul Campbell. I thought this movie was fine, and I would have to watch it again though, because I think that what got me tripped up was that I was really excited for this one because I love them both so much. So I'm wondering if my expectations were just like through the roof, and then I watched this and I was just kind of like, okay, it's fine.
Well, they're among the Hallmark people. I think they're probably some of the most comedically talented ones.
Yeah.
So to put them in this movie that is not particularly funny, and it's just another, I got to plan a party. Oh, and take care of this adorable child whose dad broke his leg. Like that. It seemed like, no, don't put him in this one. I would put them in Sense, Sensibility, and Snow. I think that would have been fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. Like you're right. They are the funniest, like naturally funniest talents, I think. And this was just kind of bland for them. But the fact that, I even made it through and was kind of like, oh, that was okay, I think was purely because of them. And as far as A Christmas Miracle, I just didn't really feel the chemistry between the main couple. And I think that's another thing, like we talked about how to best service Black characters and characters of color in these movies is to make sure the writing is exceptional. And you also have to test for chemistry. Like you can't just put two Black people in a movie and be like, they're going to be great together. It's just like any other of these movies. Like there has to be chemistry testing. I mean, and it's worth it to just do it right. Hallmark, if you're listening, hear my cries.
Agreed.
Well, so yeah, A Christmas Miracle, I would like it if I liked watching board meetings for an entire movie. It was so boring. I just, like, it felt like one board meeting after another board meeting after another board meeting. And I'm like, this is not interesting to me at all. And I didn't think it was anybody's fault. They did fine, but there was no saving it. It was just dull to me. Holiday Hearts, I think the whole premise is so ridiculous that in this day and age where you can hardly get a week-long stay in a hospital if if you have coronavirus. It's the idea of for a broken leg, like that's outpatient treatment at best. And so
look, they put 2 Christmas trees in every hospital room. They got to have somebody in there.
That was hilarious when they have the festive dressed up. They even had a Christmas blanket, I think. That was really funny. And so, I pick Holiday Hearts, even though, and then the final reveal of her big design that's going to revolutionize this company is like, you couldn't even dance in the room. Like, it was so non-functional. There were so many Christmas trees in there that you could hardly walk in there. And someone was like, but whatever. I would go with Holiday Hearts.
Her big idea is Winter Wonderland, which is the big idea that everybody has in every Hallmark movie when they're planning a Christmas party.
Right.
It's always Winter Wonderland. Like it is always groundbreaking.
So I have a feeling that we'll disagree. Alonso and I will disagree on this next one, but it's Sense and Sensibility and Snowman versus God Wink Christmas. What is it? Meant for Love or something? Anyway,
the second one.
It's God Wink 2. And I actually really liked this one. I thought that they handled her MS like really pretty in a touching way, in a believable way. I could picture somebody kind of trying to conceal it, especially in a new relationship, and kind of pushing back. And I thought the whole thing with him with the cards in the window and it was cute.
That's what I was going to ask. How did you feel about the I know you have MS card?
For the world to see.
I liked it. I thought it was cute. I don't know. I liked their chemistry, and I just thought they handled. I thought Cindy did a really good job portraying. Like when she got the shakes, I believed it. I thought she did a really good job. I don't know if that's the correct word for it, so I apologize. But when she had those symptoms, and and I liked the little thing like them in the hotel when they're sort of this banter back and forth as they're going in their rooms. Like that was cute, and I don't know, I thought they had nice chemistry. I liked also the little side plot with, I think, her sister-in-law and brother and the store and running the store. And that was cute. Sense and Sensibility and Snowman. I mean, I guess I'm just too much of a Jane Austen purist because this thing had nothing to do with Jane Austen, with Sense and Sensibility at all. Even like the characters, the Kimberly Sested and Aaron Craig characters should have been swapped. Their their personalities didn't match up with Marianne and Eleanor at all in the book, and there was nothing else similar. They didn't even use all the names. I mean, it was very frustrating, and and just like him, Luke McFarlane being the heir to this toy thing, and then they're like, I don't know, I can't even remember everything else, but I didn't like it, and so going with Godwinks for me. But Dory, what about you?
I am going with Sense, Sensibility, and Snowman, but it really does bother me as well that this had nothing to do with Sense and Sensibility at all. I totally agree. The sisters needed to be swapped personality-wise, and that did annoy me. But I really liked Erin Krakow in this movie, and I am not her biggest fan, to be honest. I like her fine. I'm so sorry. To all of her fans. I'm sorry, Caroline.
Yeah. I do agree that I like her when they allow her to be a little bit funny and be a little giggly, and they never do that in Winkle's the Heart.
Yeah, and I think that has been my hang up with her in a lot of movies. So I really liked this glimpse into her, into like a different side of her. I thought she was funny and quirky, and I liked that. I also enjoyed Godwink. I just liked Sense, Sensibility, and Snowman a little more. I thought it was funny and a little more, had a little more sass to it, which I appreciated.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Alonso?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sense, Sensibility, and Snowman. I have some issues with it. Like, I admire the idea of Erin Krakow wanting to sort of bust out of what she's usually called upon to do and play characters a little more loose. I felt like they were overdoing it. Everything from like the pink eyeshadow at one point to just like there was a lot of effort beyond her wackiness, and it seemed like, okay, maybe dial it down a little. I know you're excited to not be wearing a pinafore or whatever, but like, I don't know, I didn't super buy it. And it's the Luke McFarlane character is not particularly well written either. And yeah, like there's the whole idea of like, oh yeah, we're a toy company, but we don't do test marketing with children because what do they know? Like, it was just, there's a lot of weirdness there. But I do not like the Godwink movies a lot. I find them just kind of oppressive because I think these movies have always been very smart about like, we're all gathering at the church, or there are elements of spirituality to them, but they don't sort of hammer home like a specific brand of American Christianity with the way the Godwink movies do. Like when Kathy Lee Gifford comes waltzing out to explain to everybody how like it was all designed by the Lord. It's like, okay, I don't want this right now, and it's just not fun. And I think they're like Once Upon a Christmas Miracle if it weren't a true story, like there seem to be, I mean, are they true stories? I forget.
They are true stories.
They are true stories. Okay, yeah. But they're worse than Once Upon a Christmas Miracle in that they don't feel real or come across as real to me. So they just seem like a lot of contrivances, and it's like, if it really happened that way, then write it better,
Write it better.
So next we have Holiday for Heroes and Our Christmas Love Song, right? Our Christmas Love Song. I can't even know Our Christmas Love Song. Or Our Christmas
Love Song,
yeah. So next we have Our Christmas Love Song versus Holiday for Heroes. And this one, I mean, I really like Alicia Witt. Again, another person, I don't understand why they keep putting her in the Movies and Mysteries when she's.
I know they're
like,
killing
known
me with that. Seriously.
She's known for her funny, so why are you putting her?
Do these separations even make sense anymore? I mean, like, didn't Sense and Sensibility, for example, jump from one to the other one, just sort of like, we're putting it here now?
Yeah.
I've definitely saw some movies on Movies and Mysteries that could have very easily gone on main Hallmark and vice versa. Like, I don't.
Totally.
Well,
I think a lot of times that's like, well, more cable systems get Hallmark, so we're going to put the big guns there because we don't. If we burn them off on Mysteries, not enough people are going to see them or whatever.
I mean, I think Christmas Town should have probably been on Movies and Mysteries. Like it was more of a, but either way, whatever channel it's on, it was. She should be in funny movies. She shouldn't be in.
100%.
I actually kind of
like, I get to sing in this one. Great.
Yeah.
No.
I like her singing. I thought the plagiarism storyline was at least something different. It was not the same that we'd seen a million times. So I appreciated that. I thought that they had decent chemistry, and I liked the fact that they didn't try to hide that they were dating or interested in each other. They were just kind of like, let's go for it. Let's I liked that. And so it was fine. And then Holidays for Heroes. It was kind of irritating to me that they keep getting this event for the soldiers keeps getting moved. I mean, of all the things to move during the holidays, I would not move an event for the soldiers. And then she's got this giant barn, and we're all thinking why don't you just have it at the barn? And then finally she's like, why don't we have it at the barn? And I'm like, okay, fine. But I love Mark Blucas. He's the best. And it was cute. And the big reveal, at the end with the soldiers, and that was good. And him trying to decide what he's going to list, I think. Maybe I'm getting my movies confused.
He's either going to take the gig at what is essentially VMI, I think, or he's going to sit down and be a history teacher.
And so I'm going to pick Holiday for Heroes, but I didn't like it quite as much as it seemed like everybody else seemed to just love it, and I thought it was fine. But Dory, what about you?
I really liked Holiday for Heroes. That is my pick. I mean, these are Mark Blucas's best roles for sure.
Yeah.
You can never, I mean, I have always been very pleased with his veteran performances. I think he's great. There's also a Black Santa in this, which I appreciate so
Oh yeah.
You're right, there is.
I loved it. I saw Black Santa and texted it immediately to Mel. I was like, you have to watch this movie. There's a Black Santa. And I really like what's her name? Melissa Claire Egan.
Yeah, this is her first.
This was her first, and I thought she did a really great job. She was really bubbly and fun and a great Hallmark heroine. And I liked this a lot better than Our Christmas Love Song. I love Alicia Witt. I do not need to hear her sing in these movies anymore. I'm good. I'm good. I am still longing for the days of a Very Merry Mix-Up. That's what I want. That's what I want to see her in. But I'm happy that she gets to do this for herself. I'm happy for that. But Holiday for Heroes for sure.
Yeah, I would. Well, we did get one kind of bonkers one this year. At least it's time to come home for Christmas or whatever. It's beginning to look like Christmas. Yeah, it's beginning to look like Christmas. I thought that one was hilarious with the whole feud, and that you were on the podcast for that one, Dory. And that one was unexpectedly crazy. But they hardly ever do that anymore. Just have a bonkers story. But Alonso, would you agree?
I would go Holiday for Heroes. I'm with you, Rachel. I liked it. I didn't love it the way a lot of people did. But Blucas is great, and I like Melissa Claire Egan. Patty Murrin, I thought, was a very funny secondary character. She was also in Love on Iceland, and I thought was one of the best things in that. So I hope she also gets to get kicked up to A-list status. I mean, I like Alicia Witt. I think the singing is fine. The movie was sort of was fine. I do prefer a Very Merry Mix-Up, but I'll tell you, a movie of hers that has kind of snuck up on me and really has grown on me is Christmas on Honeysuckle Lane.
Oh, you
Like
liked
that
it,
actually,
huh?
I think, has some really sweet moments. And they got like a real director, Maggie Greenwald, who did that movie, directed Songcatcher, which was like, you know, it was at Sundance, I think, in 2000. It was the first big film for, she was in the Phantom of the Opera movie, and she's on Shameless.
Oh, Emmy Rossum.
Emmy Rossum, yeah. So you know, like I love it when women direct these movies, but when like women who actually have like indie cred direct these movies, it's even a bigger thing. So anyway, but yeah, a holiday figure.
Well, my favorite hidden, not as much talked about Alicia Witt movie is The Christmas List. I really like that one. It has like really good character motivation, and I don't know, I think that one's a good one.
That movie takes the subtext of Hallmark movies and makes it the text, which is like we have to check off all these things, you know.
Well, and she just she didn't want to turn into her mother. Then when she finds this list, she realizes, oh my gosh, I turned into my mother. And so I like it. I think it's a good one. But anyway, next we have Time for You to Come Home for Christmas and a family Christmas. And Dory, what do you think about these two?
I mean, I really hate the title, but I like Time for You to Come Home for Christmas. I think that would be my pick. The title is insanity. That's too long. But I really liked this story. I really like Alison Sweeney. I really enjoy Lucas Bryant. He was in one with Rachel Lee Cook. I don't remember what it was called.
The summer one, right? With the intern?
Right, where she was an intern.
Yeah. Well,
older intern. But I really like him. I wish he was in more.
He's in that country one that got shelved for some reason last fall that we have no idea why.
Of course.
So weird.
Of course. And I mean, here's the thing about a family Christmas gift. I love how much Patti LaBelle we got in this movie because I love her. And that was a high point. But I just did not like the romance story of this. I just was not feeling it for some reason. And I'm sorry, I feel so bad because I love Holly Robinson Pete too. Like, I feel like I'm talking bad about my aunties right now, and I'm devastated to do it. But something about it just didn't, it took me like a couple days to get through this movie. I watched part, stopped, watched part, stopped again.
No, she has more chemistry with the guy who plays her boyfriend in the Evergreen movies than with the dude in this one.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And yes, it is just, I mean, as someone who's watching these movies for the romance of it, it's hard to get past that. But man, when I saw this cast, I was excited. This breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to not put it through, but man, that chemistry was just, it was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah, so I do think that Time for You to Come Home for Christmas was better than wasn't the first one Time for Me to Come Home for Christmas? Yeah. I do think this was better than the first. And I think the story was pretty good. And Alison Sweeney did a good job. And so, yeah, I think, I mean, in her sort of going back home, and like, that's definitely a true thing. Like, when you lose somebody and you see just even an image that reminds you of a moment, and then it can be pretty devastating. It can be hard to get over that. And I thought that was done pretty well. The big reveal was not my favorite. Family Christmas gift. I liked that we got more than Patti LaBelle Open Your Door. So that was good. And I liked the whole idea of like her interviewing Patti LaBelle. It felt like, even though she's obviously interviewing a character, it felt kind of like she was interviewing Patti LaBelle to me. And so that was nice. And she decides through this interview to make like his career change. And so that was good. And yeah, the romance wasn't the best, but it was pretty minimal. They didn't really spend a ton of time on it. But I think I'd go with the Alison Sweeney movie as well. I don't know. The way they handled sort of grief, I connected with more than in this family gift one. What do you think, Alonso?
not super enthusiastic about either one of them. Excuse me, to be honest. I would probably wind up going with Family Christmas Gift just because we do get more Patti LaBelle, and even if whoever the dude is doesn't have much chemistry with Holly Robinson Pete, at least Holly Robinson Pete and Patti LaBelle get to have scenes together, and they're terrific. And they, you're right, those interview sequences, whether or not they're like, they hew to the actress's real life, they play, they're very believable, and I like them, and I like that whole setup. But like plot-wise, I think both of these movies are pretty weak. I mean, like, Family Christmas Gift has the whole thing where, like, it's this fundraiser that nobody really has cared about ever or given two thoughts about, but now suddenly it's this huge thing, and in comes the magazine. Again, no matter what job you have in a Hallmark movie, you better be ready to be a party planner. I don't care if you're a stockbroker, an architect, or a chef, or whatever. But then Time for You to Come Home for Christmas is one of those things where it's like, you could have one 5-minute conversation and end this movie, but the whole thing of the secret and the watch, and he doesn't want to say, and she won't ask, and they don't know, and what is it? I felt like they really dragged that element out of it so much, and it was like, it just got very frustrating. Like, get on with it already. Just say the thing, and then we can all go home. Allison Sweeney's fine. I don't remember the central relationship being particularly, like chemistry filled. And as far as grief stuff, like, it's no Two Turtle Doves. I'm sorry.
True.
Nothing is.
Okay. Then next we had Christmas on My Mind, A Nostalgic Christmas. And so Christmas on My Mind had so much potential to be this nutty amnesia story. And they did nothing with that at all. You could completely cut out the whole amnesia plot, and it would just be like ice skating, and like nobody behaved like you would behave if this happened to one of your friends.
Well, and it's another movie where, like, they make you wait an entire movie for a thing that he could have immediately told her. Like, here's why we broke up. But we have to wait for it for like 2.5 acts.
If one of my friends couldn't remember anything and she was literally going to get married in a matter of weeks, like, that would be a shocking thing. I would be upset by that. I'd be concerned by that. But they were all just like doing normal Christmas stuff, and it just didn't make sense, and it was really badly written. And I'm not a big fan of this writer. I hate to say it, who wrote this movie, but I just thought it was really poorly done. And I like Andrew Walker, but I wish that he would pick better projects sometimes. This one was not my favorite, and it was very disappointing to me. And Nostalgic Christmas, it's ridiculous, the whole wooden Santa thing. There was a little bit of Christmas magic, which was fun. And I like Brooke D'Orsay. And it was kind of...
Santas are creepy, though.
It was kind of save 2 stores, not just save 1 store. I like it better than Christmas on My Mind, though. I just did not like Christmas on My Mind at all. And so I'm going Nostalgic Christmas. But yeah, the Santas were a little creepy.
A little?
Dory, what do you say?
Sorry. This is tough. I didn't like either of these movies.
I'll hop in and say I'll go with Christmas on My Mind only because Nostalgic Christmas is so dumb. Like the whole idea of the whole save the store thing makes very little sense. It's like, look, you've got these handcrafted wood carved Santas. Maybe just sell them online. Maybe having the brick and mortar store isn't going to like be the end of the world. And then it's one of those movies that relies on the magnanimity of a billionaire somewhere, because we know that's how real life always goes.
But they're magic Santas.
I'm gonna keep that factory open and not send all the jobs to some third world hellhole where I can pay people 4 cents an hour because it's Christmas.
They're magic Santas, Alonso.
I mean,
all right, Tori.
I think if I had to pick, I would. Oh my God, this is really hard. I guess I would pick nostalgic Christmas. I really like Brooke d'Orsay a lot. And Christmas on My Mind was just too much for me. Within the first 10 minutes, this girl has been laid out in a crosswalk, holding a wedding dress, has amnesia, goes home. It's just so much happened in the first 10 minutes of this movie. My head was spinning. I was like, what is this? This is so bizarre. I was not feeling it at all.
And the character like has clearly in the course of a year has gone from like, you know, spunky hometown girl who teaches art to kids to like soulless gallery manager who's just out to like, you know, make money and live in this like super stark, you know, minimalist apartment with nothing but high heels, you know.
Well, even her fiance, his actions made no sense.
None.
Like, if you're planning on marrying this woman, even if you're planning on marrying her for the wrong reasons, like you would be upset by the fact that she has no memory of you at all, and you're getting married in 2 weeks.
And she's spending all this time with her hunky ex.
Yeah,
and not enough Jack A.
I would say it did give us Dr. Jack A though.
Mm-hmm.
Jack A, brain specialist.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Not enough Jack A.
One of these Christmas movies someday is going to make her funny. I swear. Even Lifetime movies, she hasn't been funny. It's so frustrating. But anyway, so our last bracket is Hallmark Movies Now. And so this is just a bunch of random movies. In this one, we have A Rose for Christmas versus Royal New Year's Eve. So there's two New Year's movies. Rose for Christmas, I like Rachel Boston. And it's kind of fun. It's like the only Hallmark Christmas movie I can think of that's set in Pasadena, that's set in a warm climate. And the Rose Parade is novel. It's fun enough. Royal New Year's Eve, I just can't handle Sam Page with that accent. It's so bad. but I like Jesse Schramm a lot. But no, I have to go with Rose for Christmas. But Alonso, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Rose for Christmas is the lesser of two. You know,
Yeah.
they're both fairly negligible, but yeah, Rose for Christmas it's a different setting, and I mean, I guess technically it's also a Thanksgiving movie since that's when the Rose Parade happens on New Year's. That's it. So it's also a new. Yeah, it's fine. Sure, I'll go with that one.
And Dory, which one you picked?
Yeah, my pick is definitely A Rose for Christmas because I love Rachel Boston. But yeah, I wasn't crazy about either of these movies. And I agree. Sam Page's accent, nope.
So the next grouping has The Bridge Part 2, which I object. I don't know why you would have both Part 1 and Part 2 as separate entries on this bracket. And you should just have one per franchise. We'll talk about that again.
I was gonna say.
And so I'm trying to remember what was in The Bridge Part 2 versus The Bridge Part 1. Yeah, I don't even remember.
Is that where they're saving the bookstore?
Isn't that in both?
I
don't know. Remember. I haven't seen either of these in a long time.
Me either.
Yeah, they did not stay with me.
And then versus Broadcasting Christmas, I guess it doesn't really matter because Broadcasting Christmas is way better. I do like a Faith Ford is in The Bridge. I love her. But yeah, Broadcasting Christmas is really good. It's a really solid little script. And
more non-funny Jack A.
Yeah, yep. I don't know what is the problem.
Misused again. But it's okay. It's okay. I still like this one a lot.
Yeah.
It is charming. Actually, a friend of mine, I think, has a story credit on it or something.
That's awesome.
All right. Then we have Hitched for the Holidays and A Christmas Wish, which I couldn't even remember what A Christmas Wish was. I had to look it up when I was doing this bracket. I'm like, oh, yeah, Christy Swanson. Okay. Dory, what do you think?
Hitched for the Holidays. Love it. Joey Lawrence.
Alonso, what do you think?
I gotta go. I think I gotta go with Christmas Wish just because I mean they really stack up the melodrama in that one. Like it's everything but tying her to the railroad tracks. But again, I think it is one of those movies where it's like I love when the town comes together to help out the newcomer who's in trouble and like needs a job and needs a place to live, and there's that whole ending where they like the house and everything. Like it's sweet.
I love too when they draw the Christmas tree on the wall.
Yes.
That's
I love
really
Tess
good.
Harper, so it was very cool to see her in this.
Mm-hmm. I like A Christmas Wish, even though I couldn't remember it. But I do love that Christmas tree. The whole thing was filmed in Utah, which is kind of fun. So I'm gonna go with Hitch for the Holidays, even with my even with that knowledge, I guess, because it is something at least different. But all right, then we have the first of, even though it's the third one, we have Marrying Father Christmas versus One Christmas Eve. And everybody knows I really don't like the Finding Father, Engaging Father, and Marrying Father Christmas movies. Marrying Father Christmas is the least bad, but because the wedding is pretty good. But I hate the Whitcombs. I think they're the worst. They're, especially the second movie, they expect her to give up her relationship in order to save the reputation of the dead father, who is a stage actor, because some newspaper reporter is going to write a piece about about him having this love child. And it's like, in what world does anybody in the human world care about some stage actor who had a child like that's dead? Like, what? And it was so stupid. I couldn't deal with it. I hated it so much. It was the originator of this movie took me to a dark place, is when I was reviewing Engaging Father Christmas. I just disliked it so much. And Marry Father Christmas, like I said, is better, but
it could be an hour long.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, the whole,
they make you wait for that wedding.
and the whole plot with her uncle who's like somehow shown up, and it was just
that's
what?
out of nowhere. It
was so stupid, and I just don't like the series. So I definitely, One Christmas Eve is actually really charming, and Haish, it's cute. I like it. It's Hall of Fame. So
is that the one with the people who come to New York to sell Christmas trees? Or is it the Anne Heche one where the kids are in where her Christmas tree gets run over?
The one where Christmas tree gets run over.
Okay, gotcha. That was cute.
Yeah, and she got the dog, and it's cute. It's fun. It's got some slapstick. I'm going with One Christmas Eve.
Yeah, for sure, One Christmas Eve, because the Father Christmas movies are generally annoying. They're good delivery systems for like Niall Mater and Christmas stuff, but they're not particularly interesting.
Oh, Dory, what do you think of the Finding series?
I'm not a fan. I don't really like a lot of the Santa movies, and this is not one of my go-tos. So I would definitely say One Christmas Eve for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, the next we have Finding Father Christmas, the first one, versus Signed, Sealed, Delivered for Christmas. And I love the Signed, Sealed, Delivered for Christmas movie. I think it's so good. I mean, I love the whole series. The Postable series, I think, is very well written by Martha Williamson. I think she manages to weave in themes of faith in a very organic, very like non-preachy way. And the acting's all good. They're so well cast, and it makes me cry. I think I really like it. And I don't like Finding Father Christmas, so definitely Signed, Sealed, Delivered for me. Alonso, have you seen Signed, Sealed, Delivered yet?
I tried to watch it because I know you're a big fan, and I didn't get through it. And I think it's not designed. It's like the When Calls the Heart ones. It's not designed for people who haven't seen the rest of them. So like coming in cold, I was like, I don't quite get what the relationships are and who these people are, and a lot of the sort of quirky character elements felt a little forced. And it was like, I could see where if this were the 8th thing I was watching with this crew, like I would know their rhythms and understand how they relate to each other. But as a newcomer, it was like, I'm baffled by this. So I suspect if I went back to the beginning of postable 1.0 and moved forward, like it would then work for me. But I didn't finish it, so by default I have to say Father Christmas.
Yeah, I can see that. It is the 11th technically because they had the 10 episodes of the series, which were just 1 hour, and then they transitioned into movies. And the For Christmas was the first one that was a movie. And so that's interesting. It's always hard to kind of separate my own experience from how I watched it versus, other people and try to imagine what they might experience. So that's interesting. Have you seen it, Dory?
I have, and I really liked it. I actually have gotten into Signed, Sealed, Delivered late. I just started watching everything this past Christmas season. So I also think it was just the right time for me. Like I had started watching it and I was super into it. And I really enjoyed it. I like Eric Mabius a lot.
Yeah. Well, and I just appreciate that Shane and her story about she's an atheist basically in the group, and she's fully respected and treated with honor by the script, and I liked that. I don't know, just her how it brought back sort of both Oliver's memories of the Christmas tree on the beach, and then but also her memories and her struggles. I really do love it. So
were these books first or no?
I don't think so. I think it's just Martha Williamson. I think she came up with the idea. And I think she just does a way better job than most, at least, in writing about faith in a nuanced, without shaming people and without and I appreciate that about her writing.
Cool.
So it's definitely a rarity these days sometimes in Christian film. Okay, then we have Engaging Father Christmas and A Majestic Christmas. And I definitely liked A Majestic Christmas more than most people seem to.
I did too. I thought it was
yay!
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a save the theater thing.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that once she found out that he was working for the that he was going to get the job, or I can't even remember exactly, but she had a cry and then she got over it, and that was fine, and there wasn't some big conflict, and I thought she was really cute. That actress, I liked her a lot, and I loved the dancing scene in front of the theater. I thought that was so good.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely my pick over Engaging Father Christmas, that's for sure.
Yeah. Mine too. And I really like Jerrica Hinton, and I want her in more of these movies. I don't understand why she's not in more of them. It's really frustrating.
I liked her a lot too. I thought she was really cute.
She's a charming lead. I wish I remembered more about this movie. Like, I know I saw it, but I can barely remember. Like, yeah, there's a theater, the pipes burst because the pipes always burst. But I don't remember much. And it's funny, of all the Father Christmas movies, if I had to remember a single moment that has stayed with me from any of them, it's in Engaging, where the actual engagement is like pretty great. Like it starts at a gazebo, and then they get in the like horse-drawn carriage, and then like that whole row of trees lights up as they are driving down. It's like, okay, that's for 3 movies that were generally kind of shaggy dog nothing. Like that 5-minute sequence was lovely,
Yeah.
But yeah, Majestic.
I can agree with that. All right, we're almost done this round. So we have Christmas Festival of Ice versus Winter Wonderland. And Alonso, what do you think?
I really like Winter Wonderland, and I don't know why Hallmark is just seeming to be burying it. Like, even on Hallmark movies now, I remember I signed up for like a free trial one of the times they were doing like a Christmas in July thing, and it literally didn't come on until like July 27th or something, and then it was gone on August 1st. Like you really had to like not sleep on it, or you were not going to see this movie. And I don't know why it's not more in the regular rotation. Like Paul Campbell is, the joke I always say is he's giving solid like Hallmark Joel McHale realness, but he's funny and he's charming. And I have a suspicion that Hallmark is burying it because Cameron Matheson is the Baxter. And because he's the Home and Family guy now, they don't want to have a movie out where he looks like a tool. But yeah, I think it's fun. So I would totally go with that one.
And Christmas Festival at Ice. I mean, like, does Taylor Cole even remember she was in that movie? Like, what? I can't believe that it beat Winter Wonderland in the.
It's like, well, I'm a lawyer, but I really want to be an ice sculptor.
Like, what? Like, that's at best a seasonal hobby. Like, what?
At best.
Yeah.
It's like surfers; they chase it around the world.
I mean, I know some people for weddings. Like, I guess you can be an ice sculptor for weddings, but
in the summer she does butter for state fairs.
but that's probably not going to pay off your law school loans. I mean, what? But yeah. Do you agree, Dory? Winter Wonderland?
I mean, Winter Wonderland is one of my favorite Hallmark Christmas movies, probably one of my favorite Hallmark movies of all time. I just feel like there are so many memorable moments in that movie. I think all of the windows are memorable and so cool, especially the last one they do when they're connected and the train is going through both windows. It's so great. The turducken
store stuff.
Yeah, and the turducken, the turkey fried and Dunkin' Donut batter. Like, come on. It's so good. It's so funny. I love that he is sleeping at the department store every night, like homeless and just trying to make it work at his job. The evil boss is a really great evil boss. I love when they get stuck quote unquote in the department store overnight and they're thrown together, and I mean I love
Naomi Judd.
I mean, it confirms
Naomi Judd. Oh,
yeah,
so good.
It confirms my theory that you can only be a good person in the city in a Hallmark Christmas movie if you are a window designer or you're running a parade. that's my theory.
Or a bookstore manager.
The last one, we have The Bridge Part 1 versus It's Christmas Carol. And Alonso knows that I love It's Christmas Carol. We did a whole podcast about it. And I just think I love Carrie Fisher so much. And it's a really bad adaptation of Christmas Carol as far as like accuracy, because there's like no ghosts. There's no, like, there's no Jacob Marley. It's all Carrie Fisher. But I just think it has a lot of really funny lines, and so it makes me laugh. And The Bridge doesn't make me laugh, so I'm going with This Christmas Carol. But Alonso, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, we as we discussed earlier, I have my qualms with It's Christmas Carol, but Carrie Fisher is very fun and like kind of firemen's carry the whole movie basically. I find the Bridge movies, even by Hallmark standards, like really earnest. Like there's no humor, it's so like the bookstore, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't have a real spark of life to it. I think Faith Ford is good, but they get sticky, and there are other Karen Kingsbury movies I think that work really well. I like Christmas Miracle, and She's Dashing Through the Snow. No, that's Ed McComber, sorry. Anyway, but of these two, it's Christmas Carol for sure.
You pick.
It's Christmas Carol gets my vote too. I would never go against Queen Carrie Fisher. Even.
Yes, very good. Sorry about that. Okay, now hopefully we go through this next set pretty quick. Okay, so we have Christmas Town versus Christmas Under the Stars. Alonso.
Christmas Under the Stars.
And Dory.
Christmas Under the Stars.
Okay, we got that. Okay, then we have Christmas Dollywood versus Christmas Duet. Alonso.
Christmas Duet.
And Dory.
I guess Christmas Duet.
Okay, and then we have Merry and Bright versus Right Before Christmas.
Right Before Christmas.
Yeah,
you agree. Okay. Then we have Christmas Club versus Holiday Date. Alonso?
Christmas Club.
And Dory, do you agree?
Yep.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Then we have Christmas Under Wraps versus Pride and Prejudice and Mistletoe. Alonso?
Wraps.
All right. Very good. Dory, you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And then we have Crown for Christmas versus Small Town Christmas. So what do you think, Alonso?
I'm going to say Small Town, although I'm going to get outvoted here.
Dory?
Crown for Christmas. Sorry.
Yeah, me too, Crown. Okay, then we have Royal Christmas versus the Christmas card. Alonso?
Ooh, that's a toughie. I think, I guess Christmas card.
And Dory, you agree?
It's important in the overall scope of things.
Yeah. Do you agree,
Well,
Dory?
when you put it like that,
Even if it doesn't have hoagies.
yeah, Christmas card.
Yeah, I would pick Christmas card anyway. So, all right. Then we have Mingle All the Way versus Bramble House. So,
Bramble House.
yeah. And Dory?
Yeah, Bramble House. Sorry, Jen Lilly. Maybe it'll be a classic one day.
All right. And then we have, move over. Okay, we have Christmas in Montana versus Homecoming for the Holidays. What do you think, Lance? Homecoming. And Dory?
I agree. Homecoming.
Okay. Then we have Two Turtle Doves versus Holiday Hearts. I think it's clear.
I think we know.
Two Turtle Doves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then Sense and Sensibility and Snowman versus Holiday for Heroes. What do you think, Lonzo?
Heroes for sure.
Yeah. Same with you, Dory?
Heroes. Yep, same.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have Time for You to Come Home for Christmas versus Nostalgic Christmas. Your two favorites.
And Dory, you go first.
The one with the long title.
Okay.
Yeah, Time for me. Or you or whoever. Time for somebody to come over.
Yeah.
Time for whoever.
Okay. Then we have Rose for Christmas versus Broadcasting Christmas.
Oh, broadcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, broadcast.
Yes, I agree. Okay. Then we have Hitched for the Holidays versus One Christmas Eve.
I like Hitch for the Holidays better.
What do you think?
Remind me again. That one, right. I'm going to go on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I'm also going One Christmas Eve. Okay, then we have Signed, Sealed, Delivered and Majestic Christmas. What do you think, Dory?
Oh my God. I mean, I say Majestic Christmas.
I will also say Majestic.
All right. I wasn't going to let it go through, Signed, Sealed, Delivered through, because last time I made the whole bracket boring because I had to decide everything. But anyways, we have Window Wonderland versus It's Christmas Carol.
Oh, Window Wonderland.
Yeah.
Agree. Okay. Okay, now the next round we have Christmas Under the Stars versus Christmas Duet.
Christmas Under the Stars.
Do you agree, Alonso?
This is a toughie. They're right at like the same level of working. Yeah, sure. I'll go with Under the Stars.
Okay. Then Right Before Christmas versus the Christmas Club.
Oh, Club.
Yeah, Christmas Club.
Yeah, me too. Okay, then Christmas Under Wraps versus A Crown for Christmas.
I'll let Dory go first on that one.
What do you think, Dory?
Crown for Christmas.
Yeah, I also will say Crown for Christmas, so I'll make that one easy.
Fair enough.
So.
I won't fight it.
Okay, then we have the Christmas Card versus Bramble House Christmas.
Oh my goodness. Ooh, that just sent a chill up my spine.
I know, it's tough.
Joni Kane is my Facebook friend, but I got to go Bramble House. Sorry.
Okay, and then Dory?
Yeah, I'd say Bramble House too. But that matchup has me thinking. That's a toughie.
Yeah.
It's like they're actual classics or something.
Yeah, imagine that.
Okay, then we have Homecoming for the Holidays versus Two Turtle Doves.
Two Turtle Doves.
Two Turtle Doves.
Yeah. Okay, then we have Holiday for Heroes versus Time for You to Come Home for Christmas.
Oh, Heroes.
Yeah.
Holiday for Heroes.
Yeah. All right, then we have Broadcasting Christmas versus One Christmas Eve. What do you think, Alonso?
Broadcasting Christmas for me, I think.
I could go either way. But okay, sure, Broadcasting Christmas.
Okay. And then Majestic Christmas versus Window Wonderland. So we go with
Window Wonderland.
Window Wonderland.
Okay. All right. Now we're in these, I think it's the semifinals. Okay, we have Christmas Under the Stars versus the Christmas Club.
Club.
Yeah, Christmas Club.
Yeah, same. Okay, then we have A Crown for Christmas versus Bramble House Christmas.
I'm going to stick it with Bramble House.
What do you think, Dory?
Oh man, Rachel. Oh boy. I mean, I'd still go with A Crown for Christmas.
Yeah.
That's a Hallmark versus Hallmark Movies and Mysteries matchup, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm also going to go with Crown. I think it's the best. They've done so many princess movies, and it's the best, in my opinion.
Best one.
Okay, then we have Two Turtle Doves versus the Holiday for Heroes.
Two Turtle Doves.
Two Turtle Doves.
Mm-hmm. Agree. Okay, then Broadcasting Christmas versus Window Wonderland.
Window Wonderland.
Window Wonderland.
Okay. And then we have the final, or I guess, no, this is semifinal. So we have Christmas Club versus A Crown for Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Yeah. What do you think,
I'm
Dory?
saying Club.
Crown, baby.
I do like Crown for Christmas better than Christmas Club. I can't believe it made it to the end. I'm just kind of surprised by that. But oh well. Two Turtle Doves versus Window Wonderland. Talk about difference.
Oh, come on.
That's hard.
Apple v. Orange.
I know.
Yes.
I mean, look, Turtle Doves, so many feels, more feels from that than there are laughs in Window Wonderland, even though both are good at those things. So Two Turtle Doves.
What do you think, Dory?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think that Two Turtle Doves is a better movie, but Window Wonderland to me is like so iconically Hallmark Christmas. Geez, this is brutal. I mean, I can't help it. I think I have to go with Two Turtle Doves. It's just a really special movie.
I'm glad you didn't make me have to decide that one. All right, so we have our final matchup: Two Turtle Doves versus Crown for Christmas. And, I gotta go with Two Turtle Doves. I can't push it that far.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, Two Turtle Doves wins it all.
Turtle Doves, absolutely.
Yeah, and it deserves it.
Yeah.
I don't understand this bracket.
Yeah.
If you got to vote one time and there wasn't like a prize involved, then I think people would genuinely vote for like, these are the movies that I like the best. But once you like throw in the, whoever guesses the most wins money, and we give you 10 different brackets if you want to do them, then it becomes like, well, what do I think is going to win? So like, I wonder how much of the When It Calls the Heart always winning thing is part, rabid fan base, but also part people who maybe don't like it so much, but know that it always wins. And so they vote for it. And it just becomes, like a perpetual, like an exercise in
Yeah.
thinking.
Well, it's
the expression I want here.
It's the same thing with the Finding Father Christmas movies, because you assume that the When It Calls the Heart people are going to vote for their girl.
Sure.
And so I think that's another thing that makes it skewed.
I know.
Like I think the finals in that bracket were like two Father Christmas movies up against each other, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Marrying versus Finding.
Which is crazy. And the fact, like I said, the fact that Christmas Festival of Ice went so far is is shocking, but nevertheless, we, I think, have a much better winner with two turtle doves.
Yeah,
But anyway, so this was, I know, a long haul for you guys, but I sure appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did as well. And
This was a hoot. Thank you.
yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Loved it.
So, Alonso, where can people find you?
I'm at A Duralde on Twitter. A-D as in David, U-R-A-L-D-E. And I'm the only Alonso Duralde pretty much on Earth, so I'm pretty easy to find on Facebook. I currently host the podcasts Linoleum Knife, Who Shot Ya, and Breakfast All Day. So please check those out.
We'll have all that in the description section. You guys totally should. It's really good stuff. So, Dory, where can people find you?
You can find me at All the Feels Pod on Twitter, on Facebook, and you should come listen to our podcast, All the Feels.
You should. It's really good. So, yes, and you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check all of that out. And then also make sure you're following us at the Hallmarkies Podcast and all over social media and on iTunes and YouTube. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave us your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you're listening on YouTube, please give us, or watching on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We just got over 1,000 listens, or subscribers. That's so exciting. Yay. And so thank you so much for doing this with me. This was a lot of fun. And let us know what you think of some of our more controversial choices. Put in the comment section or on Twitter. We'd love to talk about our various brackets on there. So that would be really fun. And I guess Merry Christmas in April. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, thanks.